is Unpeeled. And today we're going to be talking to you, well, most about dental things, really. And the first one is Boston Micro Fabrication. Boston Micro Fabrication has gotten a 510K clearance for its UltraThineer product. Now, Boston Micro Fabrication is actually, it's an OEM. It makes 3D printers. But they've gone a step further now, and they're making applications. They've now come up with, together with Peking University, they've come up with something called UltraThineer. This is a cosmetic dental veneer that's thinner than other veneers, and that uses their projection micro stereolithography technology. So they've taken this research, commercialized it, and now, thanks to this FDA clearance, they're ready to sell it to dental labs. So rather than just sell machines, it's really kind of enabling a new technology with those machines, and perhaps even be able to sell these things much quicker and with a much higher value than it would if it's just the box, if you will. So this is something that is exciting. There's also a risk there. If you compete with your customers, maybe customers will go to competitors. If if customers are afraid that you were going to compete with them, maybe they don't trust you with all the latest information, the latest and greatest. They don't give you enough feedback. But if they're careful, and BMF usually will sell to sensor companies, electro-optics, optics, electronics, research institutions, stuff like that. Well, for them, then picking this kind of dental area to do dental veneer might just be the right little island that won't make everyone else nervous and could give them a big market. So I like it. I like as well that this is just the value proposition is so much better. You're going to a dental lab and saying, hey, this is an ultra veneer. This is how much the material cost. This is how much the printer cost. You get it from us. So I think this could accelerate their cash flow, it could accelerate their growth, and could really be a really very smart move from them. And I think it's great. And I think it's also just showcases just how mature that dental market is and how ripe it is for adoption, how many dental players from labs to individual dentists are really looking at 3D printing for dental in a big way. And the other news is actually, well, it's a similar piece of news, actually, because it's from SprintRay. So SprintRay is a company that makes usually about polymerization printers that are kind of, usually more chair-side oriented, but they do have more production-oriented models. And they make the software, they make the printer, they make the material. And they give you, as a dentist, individual dentist, or lab, kind of a solution. Now, they've come up with something else, and I think this is really new and interesting, because it's called the Midas Digital Press 3D printer. And you're probably wondering, like, wait, why are these guys calling this thing, okay, the Midas, pretty good name, Midas Touch, whatever, the Digital Press 3D printer. Why do they want to attach that moniker to this, right? Well, because they want to showcase this thing as being something different, being easier to use, being something that isn't finicky like a 3D printer, but is much more kind of something that's like more push button, let's say. Now, this is a printer that is made specifically for restorations and is using a vacuum sealed Resin Capsule System, which is easier to load, of course. You're not spending, imagine you're a dental assistant. You have to pour resin into a 3D printer, stuff like that. You don't have to do that anymore. So it's easier, and it allows for higher viscosity resins. The company even says that they can do ceramic slurries up to 70% ceramic filler. And this should enable some better performing restorations as well. Now, another really important thing of this is they have a partnership with Evoclar. Evoclar is a gigantic Liechtenstein-based company, and from Schaar in Liechtenstein, they do all sorts of things in restorations and ceramic paste and all sorts of materials. One of the biggest players in the dental market, and I would dare say one of the biggest companies in Liechtenstein as well. And that partnership is a really big news, because there's like, I'd say 3 or 4 giant dental companies, and then everything else is semi-fragmented. So to get these guys on board, especially since previously they partnered with Litos. Litos has several different technologies for also in a DLP way printing ceramics. This is a big win for them. Now, is SprintRay alone in this? No, they aren't, because there's a company called, for example, DWS already has a printer that's very similar, printing a really small volume, printing really easy cartridge systems, and a really kind of like accessible system that's a very easy to use in a chair side kind of scenario. And I love this. I think as the rest of the 3D printing industry, we really need to look at this and look at this in more depth, because we're seeing people that have real empathy for their customer, understanding for their customer, that really say, okay, what does our customers want? What do they need? We're a dentist. Okay, imagine you're a dentist. She's wanting cares for her patients. She wants something she's a businesswoman, right? So she wants something that has margin, that speeds up her work. She doesn't want to do finicky stuff. And at the same time, she wants something that is safe for her parents and patients and helps them, get out the door with fewer appointments as well. That kind of thing is really important to them as well. So I think this is a really easy to use product that is not made from some kind of technological roadmap kind of thing. It isn't made from some kind of big vision kind of idea by some startup founder, but rather than that is made from the customer. And I think these customer-driven solutions are absolutely fantastic. I think this is a great thing, and also another showcase of how mature this dental market is exactly. Anyway, my name is Joris Peels. This is another version of 3D Printing News Unpeeled, brought to you by 3dprint.com, and I hope this was useful.